Much, Mr. Leader, and to this leadership team, to Abe Hamadeh, one of the most talented new members of Congress. Glad you're participating this morning. It is a busy morning here and a great time in America. We were delighted to host President Trump in the Superdome on Sunday. First time a sitting president has attended a Super Bowl. As you saw when they put his image up on the Jumbotron, the place went crazy. There was a lot of excitement and enthusiasm about President Trump and about, I would say, the House Republicans in Congress. We were cheered on Bourbon Street. There's something happening out there because people feel this great sense of excitement, this anticipation, this energy, because President Trump is delivering on his promises. He's delivering on the agenda, and they know that we are as well. And so a lot of the things that are being done through the executive branch are going to be codified in the House, and we're working methodically to make sure all that is possible. There was a new CBS poll that came out that said 7 in 10 Americans believe President Trump is, doing what he said he would do. And that's promises made, promises kept. So you're going to see that continuing theme and the theme of restoring common sense around here. As I said last week, the Democratic Party is in a completely different place right now. There's no identified leader of the party. They don't have a clear vision. They seem rudderless. In hopes of finding themselves, they've latched onto this new shiny object called the rule of law. Well, we'd like to welcome them to the concept. It would be admirable if they hadn't spent the last 4 years with their heads buried in the sand while Biden literally trampled over the rule of law with no objection. In fact, many Democrats cheered that lawlessness, like when the Biden administration unconstitutionally forced the middle class to pay the student loans of doctors and lawyers, when they illegally mandated that private companies implement vaccine requirements, when they radically rewrote Title IX to undermine women's rights. Those things were actually illegal, and the Democratic Party cheered it. They didn't oppose it at all. President Trump, by contrast, is taking legitimate executive action to root out waste, fraud, and abuse in all these federal programs. That's what the American people demand and deserve. That's what they voted for. They voted for a real analysis and a real change, transformational kind of change in the way the federal government works. And the only people who take issue with it are these same congressional Democrats who never before had any issue with unelected staff or even bureaucrats running the White House for the last 4 years. That's not what's happening here. The president has empowered his new cabinet secretaries and the DOGE effort and all of these branches, divisions in the executive branch of government to go and find where the abuses have taken place. And every time something new is unearthed and uncovered and we share it with the people, they applaud that this has been discovered and they want us to keep going. And that's what's going to happen. You heard a lot about what's happening on the floor this week. I just want to highlight one more thing, that the House is going to vote on the Midnight Rules Relief Act. You've heard about this, but this legislation will amend the Congressional Review Act to allow Congress to overturn multiple regulations issued in the final months of a presidential administration with just one single vote. That's important for efficiency purposes and because of the facts that we're dealing with right now. In the waning months of the Biden administration, over 1,400 unnecessary, harmful, last-minute rules were imposed. And those are things that hurt small business owners and hardworking Americans and families. And this is the type of legislation that we'll move this week that receives little fanfare outside these halls, but it has the real potential to make a substantial impact on the lives of everyday Americans. You heard a lot about, I won't repeat it, but the Agent Raul Gonzalez Officer Safety Act is critically important. And again, just one more example of how we are delivering on the promises, taking care of the border, making American communities safe again. We're going to be unleashing American energy dominance again and restoring our stature on the world stage, peace through strength, and all the things that make America strong and secure. And I'm delighted that we have a commander-in-chief who's leading that charge, and it is a great delight to see him applauded all around the country, everywhere he goes, including at the Super Bowl. So I'll take a few questions this morning. Jeff, line 4.